sustain our desire for naturals is the big question.
I think for Melvita, sustainability is really centred around this idea of organic, and not just organic to avoid chemicals and to have this kind of pure ingredient, but to actually support environments.
And what is critical to us is first the knowledge of the ingredient by itself. The number of ingredients which are used in perfumery is outstanding. It's extremely large. So it's the knowledge of the ingredients themselves.
What are the most important ingredients in perfumery for you?
Patchouli is obviously an icon. Patchouli is a very large one. Then we have vetiver. Then we have all the materials which are derived from cedarwood oil. So again, not only we're using the material as such, but we are also using it as a feedstock.
And what about Melvita?
Melvita shea butter, which we source from a women's cooperative in Burkina Faso. And actually, some of our team visit Burkina Faso on a regular basis, where they've actually invested money in building a local factory.
The fragrance industry will never ever be able to do without natural ingredients. But also synthetics brings a tremendous advantage. For instance, the Chanel 5 is using aldehydes. Aldehyde, it was a smell that did not exist in the past.
It's definitely a continual challenge. We're always trying to innovate in the lab to make sure that the formulas either live up to or exceed the expectations both of the consumer or of the market benchmarks.
I mean, there's a lot of labor which is involved. There's a lot of handling of product which is involved. Take vanilla, for instance. Vanilla is not a flower, it's a bean, obviously.
We primarily, as I've said, are organic, and we do believe that the sort of future is not just investing in organic in your window box or on your doorstep, but also across the planet.
We source more than 3,000 natural ingredients, so there's ample space to make a 100% natural fragrance, assuming that there's a clear request, consumer request for that.
But do you have any initiatives in place like Givaudan where you're dealing direct with farmers?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, for example, we always work with EcoCert on the initiatives, and EcoCert actually have a range of different criteria. So they don't just certify on organic, they also have a standard for fair trade and a standard for sustainability.
The bottom line is, life is about chemicals. Water is chemicals, rose oil is chemicals. It's made up of molecules, and we have to know what each and every one of them is doing to our bodies, and the industry has to take a responsible stance to that.
I think it's been a fascinating insight about you into just this extraordinary process that goes on behind the creation of a natural product that probably most of us never realised.
There's some exciting things to come.
You know, I think people need more insight into the mechanics of how, the fragrance world works and how perfumers get their raw materials.
It's very encouraging, it's very innovative for Givaudan to be at the forefront of exploring new ways to extract and at the same time maintain the sustainability and to be very responsible in that area.
I'm really excited to have the opportunity to explain the background behind natural ingredients and the problems that can often be involved in sourcing them.
I'm delighted with today's event. For Melvita, we were able to talk about everything from the launch of our foundation all the way through to sourcing our natural oils from the African regions and South America. So really happy with the questions and the responses.
What I hope it did was make people think beyond the perfume bottle, right back to the fields that it comes from and the indigenous people that produce many of those ingredients.
Everybody is aware of natural, whether we choose to buy it or not, but actually how little people really know about it. So I think it helped elucidate a subject which is very confusing.